Hello, ni hao, bonjour, konnichiwa, hola, habari, mulishani, and wagwan. Welcome to Beyond Borders podcast. If you're new here, I'm your host, Dr. Charity Campbell Capella, known in the travel space as Doctora the Explorer, but mostly known as Dr. CK. Here at Beyond Borders, I share transformative travel experiences and cultural insights and help you see that cultural intelligence touches every part of our lives. Today is part 3 of our 4-part mini-series about living in Johannesburg, South Africa. And in this episode, I tackle the elephant in the room: safety in Johannesburg. Also, I'll be sharing some street smart strategies. Say that 12 times fast, huh? For navigating the city like a local, ensuring that you can confidently explore Joburg's vibrant culture. And also, I will be sharing with you my top apps to live comfortably, from reliable transportation apps to emergency contacts that will have your back. Let's get into this Joburg Safety 101. And if you are ready to expand your mind, challenge your perspectives, and maybe even discover a bit more about yourself, hit that subscribe button, download today's episode, and let's go Beyond Borders. All right, so to begin today's episode, I want to just review some safety statistics for you about the country of South Africa. This year, in 2024, Pietermaritzburg, I'm not sure if I'm even saying that right, but Pietermaritzburg, maybe, is number 1. It's ranked number 1 as the most dangerous city in Africa based on the crime index. Pretoria comes in 2nd, and then Johannesburg comes in 3rd. Now, this index measures the overall level of crime in a specific area, with scores indicating very high, moderate, low, or very low crime levels. South Africa experiences common contact crimes such as murder, attempted murder, sexual offenses, common assault, and robbery, which I experienced firsthand, and I will finally be sharing that with you in this episode. Johannesburg Central had the highest number of contact crime incidents, with common assault being the main contributing offense. Now, household robberies tend to peak in June, July, and December, with these months experiencing the highest number of incidents. However, only around 42% of households affected by robbery reported it to the police in the fiscal year of 2022-2023. So it could be more, just that, they didn't report it yet. So why are we talking about safety? I was attacked. I was targeted and attacked. And while I was 6 months pregnant, again, they probably didn't know that I was pregnant. If they did, then they probably made sure they targeted me because they were like, oh, she's not going to run behind us. But let me tell you something, honey. My husband was running like a gazelle. You hear me? So what happened? It was during load shedding. Y'all, I'm telling you, load shedding is the devil. It was during load shedding. We were living in Maboneng district, and we had just had a great experience at Killarney Mall, which is not in Maboneng district. Dear pastor friend of ours took us to Killarney Mall, I think like earlier that week, that Monday. And we went there. We had, lunch, and it was a really nice experience. We were like, wow, this is nice. That Wednesday during load shedding, I mean, we had no internet. There was no lights. There was just nothing. And so it was me. I said, you know what? I want to go back to Killarney Mall. I want to go shopping. Let's go and just check out, because they had like a lot of discounts and stuff that was going on. I'm like, this could be the perfect time for us to go and get some clothes that would be suitable for us to wear in this cold weather. Because neither one of us had any like real winter clothes, rainy season clothes with us. We enjoyed ourselves. Man, we had so much fun. We're a bunch of goofballs. I mean, we're serious people, but we enjoyed ourselves. We sat down, and I will never forget, we were sitting down at Simply Asia, because I was really craving some sushi. Okay. And because I was pregnant, they say, oh, you can't have sushi because of the mercury and all those things like that. So I ended up, I don't know what I got, but I didn't get sushi, but I had something that was really, really good. I took photos on my phone. I had iPhone 12 Pro Max. I did all of my content creation on that thing. I mean, you talking about angles, photos, vlogs, just everything, right? And so I was taking pictures because I do reviews on Google Maps, and I'm the stuff on Google Maps now. People love my photos, and they go and they check it out and they like my reviews and the video clips that I put. So we had just finished eating and we were waiting for the taxi to come because I had just ordered a taxi on the Bolt app, which I will tell you about in a moment. And, the driver looked like, according to the pin on the map, the driver looked like he was coming our way. So we hurried up, we went outside to wait for the taxi. And while my husband was like closer to the corner, on the edge of the street, the little bumper. So he was looking out for the taxi to come. And I was on the phone messaging the guy because at first we were waiting inside and he said that he was pulling up. He was nowhere to be found. And I'm like, hey, where are you? So I'm messaging him. And then he calls on the phone. So I answer the phone. And by this time, we're back outside. And tons of people are out there, We're outside. And I'm talking on the phone to him, trying to figure out where he is. I give him directions to where we are. And as I hang up the call, this person came up from behind me and snatched my phone out of my hand and jetted off. Now, here is the deal, because my husband could have caught up with this dude, okay? However, there was a car that was slowly rolling by, waiting for this joker to jump in the back of the vehicle with my phone. It was all planned. This is what they do. I later found out that this is what they do, but I'm gonna come back into that because it ain't done. So here is my husband. My husband hightailing, okay, so my husband is Zambian, right? So my husband is hightailing down the street, in the middle of the street, throwing stuff at the car. And because, some of the locals that was sitting down on the side, across the street, they heard me yelling. I was like, are you serious? Yo, he just stole my phone. Like, this is me. Like, he just stole my phone. And so my husband takes off. And then there are, some people who, some guys who were on the other side of the street and they heard it. And so they were taking like bricks and throwing it at the car. They were throwing it at the car to try, at least to get them to slow down or do something. And here comes, this patrol cop coming up behind me. He was like, did something happen? Like, what's going on? I was like, they just stole my phone. The guy, he's in that car. He took off and he's like, okay, did you see which way to go? I was like, yeah, they're right there. And so my husband was like, he was already like running down there. And then he turned back to just make sure I was okay. But he was already down there. My husband could have caught up with that car. But instead, the patrol cop came. And so we were like, okay, we're going to get in the car with him. So he's driving us in the direction that we said we see the car. And then we're like, okay, it looks like they're down here on to the right, because we're looking down the street. I mean, we're looking all over the place. And the guy keeps driving. I'm like, you just passed them. We said that they're that way. He was like, okay, let me turn back around. He keeps driving, not turning around anywhere. And when he finally makes the turn, he turns to the left, not to the right. I mean, he's taken us all out the way. And immediately, I told you, my husband and I are past that. Immediately in my spirit, I said, this is not right. I don't have a good, and for you, it just might be your intuition, right? Woman's intuition. I was like, something ain't right. I said, okay, take us back. Drop us off. Take us back. He was like, do you want me to? No, I don't want you to do anything, sir, but let me out right now. Because at this point, I'm like, Lord, I don't need my blood pressure getting too high. I'm here. I'm 6 months pregnant. I need my baby to be okay. I need me to be okay. And I'm like trying not to hyperventilate. I'm trying to, because everything was on this phone, ladies and gents. Okay. Everything was on this phone. I'm just like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So I couldn't even, and you know that darn taxi, how about he never showed up? He never showed up. And not only that, he had the nerve to charge my debit card. He had the nerve to charge me. And it was an expensive ride because he just kept going. He never came to the mall. He kept driving right past. Because you could see, he picked up somebody else and took them onto and was still charging me. And so thankfully I contacted Bolt because I was not a stranger to contacting customer service when these taxi drivers weren't acting right. And I contacted them and, they refunded and, they helped me with the whole situation with that. But y'all, we got back to Mabone and I took my iPad over to the nearest cafe. Okay. And I said, okay, I'm going to see what I can do to at least contact Apple, something, right? So my husband, he's trying to troubleshoot, thinking what he can do on his end. I'm over here, trying to figure out what I can do. So I pinged, I did the Find My Phone, right? I did the Find My Phone app and it was if you remember last week, I told you to stay away from Yeovil. That's where my phone was. And I was like, okay, you know what? We can go here. So my husband was busy talking to the pastor friend, telling him what happened. And he actually came to meet up with us at the cafe. And he's like, as soon as I found out, I started hitting up my contacts, trying to figure out, where it could possibly be, what's going on. And he said, the location. And I told him, he was like, we can go there right now. Dude is straight. He was not playing, okay? I call him my brother from another motherland, okay? He was like, let's go, let's find. And I told him the area. He said, actually, you know what? That is a very high crime rate area. He said, you go there, you would definitely end up losing your life because they will kill you over a phone. They will kill you over your belongings. He said, be thankful that it was, that it was just somebody robbing, taking something from you. He said, do you know that people have actually died because they went running after the phone? I said, honestly, seriously, when we're talking about safety, y'all, I'm very, very serious. Okay, sis, listen, we're talking about safety. He said people actually lose their life. There are, there is organized crime, literally organized. They plan the whole thing. They target people who are not paying attention to their surroundings. Hello, that was me because I was so busy trying to talk to this taxi driver who never showed, by the way. Did I mention that? I think I did. I want to say it again. Talking to him, trying to show him, where to come because we were ready to go. Y'all, it was horrible. And I got home. We got back home. And after talking to Apple, and Apple was just like, and the thing is, my phone was completely paid off and it was unlocked and I had an eSIM, like a dual SIM in there, all the things like that. Right. And they were just like, because I didn't have Apple Care theft or loss anymore. I had that phone for I got it brand new in 2020. And here it was, 2023, it was 3 years old, but it was in pristine shape and it had everything up there. So I signed out of my iCloud, just all over the device, and they were going to reset it and do everything anyway. Y'all, I just had to chalk it up as a loss, but we went to the Apple store the next day just to make sure that nothing was tied to, they couldn't get any of my additional details and all of that stuff like that. So, y'all, it was horrible. It was horrible. And I had to, because I am a kingdom believer, I had to ask God for forgiveness because I spent at least 48 hours, it was 2 days, where every time I closed my eyes to go to sleep, I imagined myself hurting that young man that stole I mean hurting him. I'm talking about rage, okay? Rage, ungodly rage. I know this isn't a Christian broadcast, but guess this is just who I am. I had some serious ungodly rage. Like I imagined my husband catching a dude and I'm stomping him down, like, just stomping him in the ground. It's all his best of me 6 months pregnant. Can you go sit down, ma'am? Can you? Anyways, so here are my recommendations because I had to cope with the loss of my iPhone. I was feeling vulnerable. I am thankful that there were some people to the locals that responded to the situation with my husband, as they were running down the street and I'm standing on the side just screaming, yelling like it was a whole movie scene. I'm not lying. It was a whole movie scene. But, it taught me even more because I didn't have any of those experiences when I was there in 2020. None. And here I am, not by myself, and I'm experiencing all of this stuff. Like, are you serious? But I did hear, I was told by locals that, there's always been crime, but crime increased even more after COVID. And remember, I was there at the peak of COVID. So after COVID, crime rates had increased like incredibly. And so I can understand that. But if you are going, and I'm not telling you the story so that you can be afraid and not go. No, girl, get out and explore the world. Just make sure that you balance safety. Balance your personal safety with adventure when you're going and you're exploring the city. So some of my tips for staying safe, not just in Johannesburg, but really anywhere. But since we're talking about, this series is on Johannesburg, how to stay safe in Johannesburg. First things first is avoid displaying your valuable items. My phone, and I didn't, how I went down, sis, let me tell you, I went down the list of things that I did wrong. Why didn't I have my phone, the little wrap, what's them things called? The bracelet thing? Like, I can't even think right now, but why didn't I have the strap? Yeah. Why didn't I have my phone strap around my wrist like I normally do? I mean, all the things like, why did I have my phone out? Because I was talking to the guy. Why were we outside in the first place? That's number one. Let me tell you something. When you are waiting for a taxi, do not wait outside. This is any place. Please hear me, love. Do not wait outside. Stay inside of the door. And I should have known. When I saw other people waiting inside, which we were, the reason why we went outside is because the taxi, the little pin said that he was here. And he even called and said he was nearby. And we went outside and we were still waiting for about 5 minutes before my phone was stolen. So wait inside. Even if a taxi driver says that he's there, wait until you see him. Make sure he is there. Avoid displaying your valuable items. Be aware of your surroundings. I'm usually aware of my surroundings. But at that time, because I was trying to deal with somebody, man, it was terrible. It was terrible. And even my husband was like, I said, y'all, I wanted to fight my husband. Because he was like, I saw him when he walked by. Honey, Sugarfoots. If you saw him when he walked by, why didn't you put your phone down and pay attention? Like, I want to put blame on somebody, but bruh, come on now. Like, and it was terrible because the getaway car, which is what it was, the getaway car was right in front of my husband because we thought that was our taxi, the way he pulled up and he was staring at us. When I say us, I primarily mean me because nobody really looking, my husband's Zambian. He's like, he's African. He's not, a foreigner like that. They were looking at me and I wasn't even dressed like, a foreigner. I mean, we had a few shopping bags. My husband was holding the shopping bags. Actually, they wanted my phone, y'all. They got my phone. So be aware of your surroundings because I was not that day. I really wasn't, and it was terrible. Use licensed and reputable transportation services. So overall, I do suggest and recommend the Bolt app. Okay, that app actually served us the entire time we were there. Now, like with any transportation app, you're going to have hits and misses with the driver. It's not the app, it's the driver. But Bolt does have great customer service. So I will say that. And like I said, we both had it on our phones. We used it the entire time we were there. Only time I had a serious issue was when that joker never showed up and charged. Not even just charged me, but charged me extra fare as he was taking somebody else around. Bruh. That day was a day for the books. You hear me? So, some additional advice for staying safe in Johannesburg. When you're using an ATM, and this is basically anywhere, because I also applied this to all of the other countries that I've traveled to, choose an ATM that's in a well-lit and public area. Ideally, it can be like inside of a bank or a shopping mall. If you're going to use an ATM that's outside, make sure you have somebody with you that you know and trust to watch your back. My husband was the one to watch my back when we used the ATM that's outside of Maboneng, because I was not really, I was like, look, I need to get this money out, but I'm watching, and I'm telling you, I'm looking and I'm watching even early in the morning. I don't play any games after that. After that incident, no thank you. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. At all times. Any suspicious individuals, I don't care how bad you need the money. Wait. Do you hear me? Wait until they're gone, or move yourself to another area. Or have somebody that seems like they're trustworthy. Even with that, I don't know. I don't know about that one. You just need to be safe. And shield the keypad when entering your PIN to prevent people from looking over your shoulder or looking around you. And if you don't happen to be, a bit solid and healthy like me, where I can use my body to block, put your bag or whatever, something to the side of you. Just don't let people see. Okay. Definitely avoid using ATMs at night or in isolated locations. And if you feel unsafe, cancel that transaction and leave. Safety first. Okay. So that's when using ATMs. When walking alone at night, avoid it. Especially in unfamiliar or poorly lit areas. My ladies, don't do it. If you must walk alone, stick to well-populated streets and be aware of your surroundings. Okay? Also, don't be walking like you're scared. Walk tall, walk confidently and purposefully, and avoid displaying your valuables. Don't have your phone out. Don't have your wallet out. Okay? If you're going to have a bag that you need, make sure it's a crossbody bag that cannot be easily taken off of your person. Okay? Don't do that. Consider using a ride sharing service or a taxi instead of walking. I would definitely recommend a taxi instead of walking. Ride sharing can be okay, but you might not know who else is in there. Because here's the problem. Here's the problem. My husband and I were telling one of the taxi drivers later on in the week about how my phone was stolen, and he tells us that he was robbed. A taxi driver, he was robbed. He was answering one of the requests. He was going to pick somebody up, and they get into the vehicle, and as he starts to pull off, they held him at gunpoint, took all his money, even his watch, and then got out the car. I'm like, bruh, you got to be kidding me. So ride sharing services, use your own wisdom, use your intuition, ladies, but be safe. Okay, be safe and let someone know where you're going and when you expect to arrive. That's a big thing for me, especially when I was traveling solo. When I'm going anywhere by myself, trust me, I let people know where I'm going and when I expect to arrive. And if I'm not there by when I said I would, even maybe a few minutes late, you better check up on me. Okay. The next thing, when interacting with strangers, be cautious, especially those who approach you unsolicited. Avoid sharing your personal information or your travel plans, because let me tell you something. That's another one of these contact crimes, is that they'll come and they'll communicate with you and ask you all your travel plans. Next thing you know, you being targeted. You are being targeted. Trust your instincts. And if something feels off, politely excuse yourself and leave. Never, ever accept drinks or food from strangers. When you are traveling by yourself, no, ma'am. Nope. And I say ma'am because my audience is generally women, but bruh, you neither. Don't accept drinks or food from strangers. Okay. If a stranger offers you assistance, just be cautious and only accept help from reputable sources like uniformed police officers. I was about to say uninformed, but not uninformed, but uniformed police officers or security personnel. Yeah. Don't. Please, because your safety is super important. Okay. Also, just a couple of things, some emergency numbers to keep on hand in South African. So it's called SAPS, SAPS, South African Police Service. Their emergency number is 10111. I'll make sure I put this in the show notes, but it's 10111. The emergency number from a mobile phone, which it works even without airtime or a SIM card, is 112. Okay, 112. And then the ambulance or medical emergencies is 10177. 10177. Okay. Your safety is important. Okay, some of these things that I'm sharing with you, like what I'm about to share with you, like the safety apps, I didn't even know about when I was living there. I found out after I was robbed. It's like, well, dang, I should have had this. I should have had this information beforehand. So here are some safety apps and devices that you can use while you are exploring Joburg. So first is the safety app is called Namola. It's a safety app that connects you directly to emergency services, and it allows you to share your location with trusted contacts on your phone. So that's a good one. The other one is Be Safe. That's pretty popular. It's a personal safety app with features like SOS alerts and a fake call. Like if somebody is following you or, you're feeling uncomfortable, you can press the button. You can have a fake call that comes to your phone. There's also a follow me feature and a safety timer. Also, I already told you about the SAPS. SAPS, South African Police Service, but there's an app called My SAPS. It's the official app for the South African Police Service, and it does allow you to report crimes, access safety tips, and find your nearest police station. That is MYSAPS. Okay. Also, WhatsApp groups. Many neighborhoods and communities have WhatsApp groups for sharing safety information and alerts. We did use WhatsApp a lot, actually. I think that was the only thing that we did use. There wasn't many iMessages that we exchanged with hosts. It was always usually WhatsApp groups. And then, of course, personal alarms. So there are some small portable devices that emit loud sounds, like a loud siren, to attract attention and to, basically startle attackers if they're on the way or they're trying to get to you. So definitely you can use some of those as well. Last but not least, I do want to share my must-have, my essential apps for navigating South Africa. There was Mr. D's. Like I said, I use it every day. There's Mr. D's. This is a popular food delivery app in South Africa. It offers a wide variety of cuisines and restaurants that you can choose from. It's perfect for the times when you want to relax and just not go out or try local flavors, like, without venturing out. You want to stay at home and try the local flavors. Mr. D's has it. And the good thing about that is when you put in your address, even if you are moving around the different districts, when you put in your address, it will show the different like venues or restaurants that will provide delivery service to your area. So Mr. D's was a daily thing for me. Bolt, which I mentioned, it's a ride hailing app. It's a taxi app. It used to be called Taxify, but it's Bolt now, and it is convenient and affordable. You can either pay with, cash. You can pay in rand and cash, or you can pay. You could just have like your card up there, which for me was a lot easier because, it's already paid for, except for like that one instance. I'm telling you now, there were some instances where people try to jack you up. But aside from that, I didn't have any complaints usually. ESP was the lifesaver for us. It's a load shedding app. So this, like I said, load shedding is scheduled power outages. And load shedding is the devil. And it's a reality in South Africa and a couple of other countries on that, actually in Africa in general. But this app helped us to stay informed about the load shedding schedule in our area. So we were able to plan our activities around the load shedding time and avoid any inconveniences, especially when it was time for me to teach. Knowing when I was able to, use my portable modem that I purchased, I was able to either go to like a local cafe. No issues. That was and it actually gave us updates in every single district that we lived in. So it was such a blessing to have. The other one that I used for ordering groceries was 6060. So this was a grocery delivery app that it did promise delivery within 60 minutes. And if you didn't get it within 60 minutes, you would get like a discount. But we did tons and tons and tons of grocery shopping with 6060. It was definitely a lifesaver for us who, we preferred the convenience of shopping from our smartphone, and we were able to have bags and bags of groceries delivered in a timely manner. I'm serious. I appreciated Mr. D's and 6060. Use them almost every single day. The other, which is you probably already have access to, Google Maps or Apple Maps. I think I used both until my phone was stolen. And then I only used Google Maps. But it was essential for navigation and finding our way around. It gave us directions, traffic updates, points of interest, and we were also able to put a pin in a location that we may have walked by and say, oh, we want to check out this later. And we were able to go back. So Google Maps or Apple Maps, definitely, like I said, I used both until my phone was stolen. And then lastly, a local SIM card. The first time in 2020 when I was there, I had T-Mobile and I had an international plan. International plans can end up being quite expensive, especially if you find out that there's that there's not coverage in a specific area that you're going to be in. So I do recommend purchasing a local SIM card. You can buy one of them at the airport. However, they will be more expensive. The airports, they know what they be doing. They'll be more expensive as opposed to you going to one of the network vendors and being able to just get a SIM card there. But we did purchase our SIM card at the airport because we needed to be able to get around and to use the taxi apps and all of that stuff. So you can stay connected with a local SIM card. It is affordable. Most of the plans to start and you have access to everything is 50 Rand. It's around 50 Rand. And it's easy to top up by simply dialing a phone number. You can, dial in a number, put how much you want to top up, and then you'll have more data. And so it also allows you to access maps and translation apps as well as stay in touch with friends and family. So with all of these apps at your fingertips, you'll be well equipped to navigate Johannesburg like a local, ensuring a smooth and enjoyable trip. And whether you choose Vodacom, which is the one that we had, you can choose MTN, Cell C, or Telcom. I would recommend Vodacom. It has a great combination of extensive coverage and reliable service. But again, it depends on your specific needs and priorities. You can choose any of the other three. So listen, I know this episode was long and it was a lot, but I told you I had something to tell you, okay? And I still ain't get a new iPhone yet, but I'm gonna get one for Christmas this year. That's my goal. I said I'm getting a replacement iPhone for Christmas this year. It's been long enough, okay? It's been long enough. I'm ready for my iPhone now. Listen, I want to thank you for listening to Beyond Borders podcast. I can't express my gratitude enough. It humbles me to know that you tune in every week to learn from me. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Beyond Borders podcast. Download today's episode, rate, comment, and share so we can ignite a cultural revolution all across the globe.